Ryan Jarrell here for All Access MMA, and I have Myron Molotky on the show right now, who is the president of the XFC promotion. His next event goes down Saturday, March the 27th, and it is XFC Young Guns 1. Very excited about this card, Myron. How are you?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's been a little while. I believe the last time we spoke was right after XFC 43, which Andre Soukhumta won the main event there. A very exciting card. What's life been like for you since? What have you been up to?
Yeah, just like a lot of people, just trying to navigate through this pandemic and, trying to get the schedule set. We're still on schedule to have the amount of events that we planned for 2021, but you basically shorten that timeline, right? So we're hoping to get started in February, and we're just trying to make it so the venues make sense, so that we can have some fans, so that we can put these cards together that make sense. A great example is, this was planned originally to have a tryout, XFC YoungGuns, XFC 44. We're going to have XFC Experience Week, but we've run into a problem. We've got a lot of Canadians on the 44 card in the tournament, and not a problem getting them here as much as it is getting them home. So those are some of the things that we're navigating. So I think we're going to see 44 is lining up late April, early May, is what we have scheduled so far for that. And we'll have another Young Guns and a tryout as well. So right now, what we're going into this weekend, it's actually a week and a half away. We will have XFC Young Guns, and we're going to have the tryouts following day on Sunday. So.
Oh, that's very exciting. With the pandemic lifting and things getting a little bit easier to navigate and move around, have you found it, a little bit less challenging trying to put on these events and jumping through these hoops? I mean, outside of the logistics with fighters being from Canada, has it been easier for you to kind of get a promotion or an actual event up and running?
Well, when we take a look at what we did in November, it's basically a lot of repeat, because no matter what, yes, there's a lot lifting. A lot of the states are opening up, which is great. And that's why we're considering different venues, different states now, because it is a little more open. But we're still going to follow the processes that we laid out in November in Atlanta. Fighters are coming in with COVID test in hand, must have a negative test to even show up before we even bring them aboard and get them into the hotels and get them locked down. And then, of course, physicals, medical tests, the COVID test again, before we release them after our weigh-ins on Friday morning. So we're pretty excited that we have a nice system. It makes sense. We came through unscathed in Atlanta, and we plan on just repeating that each time that we put on an event.
Are you finding that now there's a vaccine out there, or there's a couple of vaccines, that it's a little bit easier as far as getting people to want to come and be around others rather than the way it was before? I'm sure it was extremely challenging.
Well, I think people are getting a comfort level. Everyone wants to get out. It's been locked down all over the country for so long. And I think, we've seen the ticket sales. They've really been just running really hard, which is great. So people are boxed in and ready to get out and go out and enjoy a sporting event. But from our standpoint, we really take a look at, the vaccine's out, but how many people really want to get the vaccine? How many people are able to get the vaccine? I think it's going to be, a little bit of a process before everyone's settled in, that it's a safe environment to get out and just relax a little bit and enjoy our lives.
Yeah, get back to normal, if we can remember what that is like.
Yeah, the new normal, I guess, right? I just picked up my kid in Virginia. He's out there playing lacrosse, and they've been in a bubble and getting tested a couple times a week. And I'm excited to watch his first game on television. And boom, Friday night, first ever since they've been there, COVID results. 7 of the players tested positive. So took that 24-hour ride there and back. Picked up my kid. They're shut down for a couple of weeks, getting the kids cleared of the testing that they had, and hopefully we can get resuming again. And that's, it's not just MMA, right? It's athletes everywhere in every sport. All the youth players, whether it's soccer, basketball, lacrosse, everything going on with spring right now, different rules, different states, and different results. So, you're right. It's going to be great to get back to normal. I think that's what everyone's looking forward to. And hey, that's what we're pushing that with XFC. We want normal, and normal for us is finding all this new talent, giving them the platform, and putting on some great events. So that's our normal.
Now, XFC 43 was a big success. Have you noticed, now that a little bit more time has passed, that your promotion is really starting to gain some more momentum and some steam as you lead into this Young Guns first event?
Yeah, for sure. It's going into that first event, the relaunch in November. It's always that, those first steps. Where do you find the fighters? What's the level of interest? Well, it's exploded since we had that event in November, and we're getting managers, coaches, fighters reaching out. And when I tell you on a daily basis, I get, you know, 20 to 50 emails a day, every single day. Same with our matchmakers. We're all experiencing this, want to get into XFC. They know how we treat the fighters. They know the platform we put them on. And, XFC is right up there, and we're excited to watch because of the type fighters that we bring aboard.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are really in a very advantageous type of position, because with not as many promotions being able to put on shows on a regular basis, with you guys being able to put on another show here soon, it seems like you might be able to kind of pick and choose from a lot of those areas where fighters are hungry, they're not getting fights, so it's giving you probably more of a stable of fighters to pick and choose from. Am I right?
Yeah, it definitely. You've got the free agents out there, or the ones that have been rising through the ranks, and it's been slow with not that many events in the past year. Obviously, these fighters are hungry. They're looking for an opportunity. I was watching an interview with Braden Smith, and he's our main event. He's fighting Frankie Patterson. I'll tell you, he's so excited. His manager didn't even tell him it was XFC. He just kind of presented the opportunity. Then just to see his expression, how excited he was. Oh my God, it's XFC I'm fighting for. It's a big deal. And it is a big deal. It's a big deal to the fans. We make it a big deal. And we make sure that they understand that, hey, we're building this roster with specific style fighters. And you really have to fit that mold to get into the XFC.
Before we dive into this upcoming event on the 27th, the first Young Guns event, I do want to address the upcoming card, the 44th event, and I'm assuming that you're going to have those contestants that moved on from the lightweight tournament, Kurt Holloway, Kenneth Cross. Can you give us a little bit of an insight as to what that card, how it's filling out, how many fights you currently have, and how many you're hoping to have on that event?
Well, we're definitely moving into the semifinals for both the 55s and the 70s. You mentioned Kenny Cross. Kenny suffered a devastating injury. He injured his Achilles. So Kenny's going to be out for a while. He's opting not to have surgery, so we're hoping to see him a little bit sooner than later. But we're going to be filling that spot, and we've got some great options out there to fill the 55 spot. Holloway, everyone that you've seen on that card in 43, they're all coming back. The biggest challenge, just what I mentioned earlier, the Canadians. We have 3 Canadians in both those tournaments, and getting them here and getting them back is just proven to be a little challenging. Everyone says, you can just get them here and then whatever happens. Well, we have to be respectful to both their opponents, making sure we can get them there where the event's going to be, but we have to also make sure we're able to get them home safe, get them home where it's an efficient manner, where they're not stuck for a couple of weeks sitting in some hotel trying to get back to their families. So.
Right. Yeah. That makes all the sense in the world. As far as some of the other big names that were on that card, I mean, I mentioned Andre Soukhumta, former UFC fighter, very, very well-known guy. Is he going to be fighting on that event? Have you guys found a matchup for him?
Well, I think since we pushed it back to May, Andre's expressed interest. Andre's coming off a broken wrist. So he's been healing. He's just getting back to training. It might be too short of a time span. We may have to push that back a little bit further with Andre, but we've got some other big names, that we've got the contracts out. We've got some signed and back. We'll start releasing it. You might recognize the name Will Brooks. Will Brooks has expressed interest into coming into Kenny Cross's spot inside the tournament. So, with this tournament, we want to make sure it's fair also. We don't want any surprises for the fighters. We had talked about maybe mixed matching so we could leave the Canadians out until the next round and see how we do. But we're going to stay the course. We're going to continue on the way that we are.
Oh, it's very exciting what you're doing with the promotion. I also see, I can't see in the shot right now, but I did earlier, the hoodie you got on, the XFC hoodie. Are you starting to get some more? There you go. That's sharp looking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You starting to get more gear and more apparel? And is there a place for people to buy that if they wanted to?
Yeah, we've got the store that actually just opened up recently on xfcmma.net. So go right to the store. We've got some great items on there. Just placed another great order that's going to be coming through right before Young Guns. So you're going to see all kinds of great swag coming out, Ryan. We're proud of our swag. It's timeless. It's not a bunch of artwork thrown all over the place. Our fans seem to love it, and there's just been a big response and a big need for people wanting to get the swag in their hands. So the orders have been going quite well. Real excited about that. So
yeah. Very good. Well, summer's around the corner. I like wearing my dry fit t-shirts, so I'm gonna have to go on there and get one of those if that's an option.
Absolutely. You know what? You just have to give me an address, Ryan. We're gonna get you outfitted in all kinds of swag here. So
okay, all right. My plan worked. There we go. I'll get some.
There you go. That's all it took.
All right, let's talk about this card again. March the 27th, that will be on a Saturday. And again, headlined by Braden Smith and Franklin Patterson. The one thing that stuck out to me, and I didn't know, I guess, the reasoning why, most of these fights, all of them except for the main event, and there was another one, or is it Detrell Kuzala and Jared Ray, both of those matchups, there's a little bit more than just a couple of fights. They, Ray's 5-0, Detrell 7-2-2, and then obviously Braden's 10-4, Franklin Patterson 6-5. With this being the Young Guns event, why are they particularly in the slots that they're in when everyone else only has a couple of fights?
Well, you know what? We really wanted to take a look at Braden. Braden's been in some wars. We feel his style is going to fit. Love his attitude. Just listen to a interview that he had. He plans on annihilating his opponent, which, we always love that. But as you take a look across the card, Austin Bashi is coming back. You saw him on 43 in November. Enzo Perez was his opponent then. He's going to be on the card as well. So both those fighters are coming back for us. The ones I'm really excited about, we've got a couple Hawaiians coming in. Corin Walker and Micah Sampson. And I'll tell you what, they're coming from a good friend of mine, a kid that when we were in Brazil, I think he was 16 years old. He said, I'm going to fight for you someday. And he sent us video. And our matchmakers loved it, and they know it done. So he's bringing some kids from Hawaii. And, what I really like about they're bringing these kids from Hawaii, they're young gun material. We're going to take a hard look at them when they're in the cage, but their opponents, Cody Lynn. Cody Lynn is, he's coached by Ben Rothwell. Ben's really been watching out for this kid, making sure that he reaches that progression, which is what Young Guns is, right? It's a development league. And then the opponent for Corin is Davey Young. Davey's coming out of Minnesota. And that's really a kid that I have my eye on. So it's amazing that between these four fighters, we may sign all four to Young Guns contracts. Actually, Cody Lynn's already signed to a Young Guns contract, so we're going to look at the rest.
Very good. Now, the Hawaiians that are coming in, I'm a huge Max Holloway fan. I mean, if you like MMA, how could you not like?
Oh, yeah.
What are their styles like? Do you know, are they somewhat similar to that relentless, just bring it style like Max Holloway? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
They are. These kids, they understand when that hexagon door closes, that they're going to come out banging. They're going right at it. It's going to be relentless pressure, I think, from these Hawaiians. But, they're matched up so well. If you take a look at the other side, they're going to be doing the same thing. So I see these two fights as being absolutely, could be fight of the night, either one of them or both of them for that matter. We'll see how it goes.
And when you're looking for fighters to bring in and sign to Young Guns contracts, what is it specifically that you're looking for? Are you just looking for like a well-rounded skill set, or someone that's coming in to get finishes? Like, is there one or two things that stand out as to what your criteria is to sign these fighters?
Well, we love finishes, and we love the kids with the mentality that they need to get in there and finish, right? I don't want to see anyone inside that cage playing it safe. They just don't have they're not a fit for the XFC brand. We want that violence inside the cage, and we want that mentality that they're going to just get after it. So when we're taking a look, whether it's through the tryouts or it's free agency, we're working with managers. The kids that we're looking at, they have to be a world-class athlete. And Ryan, they may be raw right now, and that's part of the Young Guns experience is being a development league. We understand they're going to be raw. So you mentioned well-rounded. Yeah, to compete in the sport at a high level, you have to be well-rounded. But let's get the first things taken care of first. World-class athlete and that mentality of just relentless pursuit inside the hexagon. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I know the sport of MMA in general just keeps ascending. It's getting bigger and bigger, and there are more athletes that are deciding to go this route versus playing another sport, whether it's basketball, football, whatever it may be. There's so many more athletes that are going into mixed martial arts. I know someone in my area that she's young in her career. She's going to be making her pro debut later this month, I believe. And the thought of XFC was exciting to her. Like for other people that are out there that are hoping to get, their fights looked at by you and to get on your radar, is there anything that they can do, or will there be any more tryouts in the near future that you have specific dates that they could kind of, mark off and make sure that they'll be there to show what they can do for you and your promotion?
Yeah, so we have the tryout March 28th right there in Oklahoma City at American Elite. So the tryouts are just a great opportunity to be seen and gives these kids a chance to bring it. Eduardo Duarte puts on the most amazing tryout that really filters out what we're looking for. And we've been very successful with it. If you take a look at the card, Austin Bashi, Cody Lynn, they're both products of the XFC tryouts. So what I would suggest to these young fighters that want an opportunity for Young Guns, follow xfcmma.net. Our schedule's on there. We'll announce these tryouts, plenty of time to get prepared for it and be ready. But I think the reason most people are really getting drawn to this Young Guns, no one else has this. They don't have a development system. It's all just about let's do one event at a time and grab some fighters and try to make a card, get a couple exciting ones, and then just fill out the rest, right? What we're doing with Young Guns, when I mentioned true development, there's not going to be short notice fights. There's not going to be asking the kid to fight out of his weight class. We are going to develop these kids. And once they start developing through our Young Guns series, we're going to have a Young Guns tournament. And that's iron sharpens iron all the way through. The idea with us is to create our roster. You start with the tryouts, the Young Guns, the XFC tournament, where Holloway is a big star in that, and then the XFC super fights, which are basically the fighters right now. They're free agents that we're finding, like Soukhumta, but it's going to be eventually an all-in network starting with Young Guns. So in 2 or 3 years, this XFC roster is going to be built through the Young Guns.
As far as the veterans go, to take away, just not to take away from the Young Guns card coming up right now, but I know there's a lot of fighters, former Bellator fighters, former UFC fighters that are looking for a new promotion to call home. Are you keeping your eyes on those guys as well, who are maybe a little bit longer in the tooth, but still have a lot of fight left in them?
Absolutely. And when you say, a little bit long in the tooth, I'm not looking, to get someone that's maybe got a fight or two left just for the sake of putting them in the hexagon. That's really not developing the XFC. But, when we have our tryouts, we see everything from a kid that, won his first bar fight and he's saying, hey, I want to try out, I can do this for a living, to, we have UFC and Bellator veterans that come to our trials specifically trying to land a spot either in the tournament or possibly a super fight. So the opportunities are there at our trials. The trials are real. We are looking for talent, period. It's not just something to do, hang out on a Sunday afternoon and watch a couple kids bang. We're looking to fill this roster. We're doing it fast. We're doing it furious, but we're doing it intelligently. They have to fit that XFC brand. And yes, just like I'm sure every promotion, you're looking at recently either released or contracts ran out, whatever it may be, with a lot of the former UFC or Bellator fighters. But just because you formerly fought with UFC or Bellator doesn't mean you're fit with XFC. there's a lot of great XFC fighters that have gone on to both of those promotions, and maybe they're not a fit today either in the new XFC. So we know it when we see it. We're excited about the process and how we're finding these fighters. And I think the proof is the product inside the cage. You saw it at 43. You're going to see it again at Young Guns. You're going to see it at 44. And with this Young Guns card, there's 26 fighters on this card. 4 of them are signed with Young Guns, and we are taking a hard look at, show us what you have. Create your own opportunity. This is it. This is no bullshit. Get inside. Don't play it safe. Let everything go. And that's a win-or-loss situation too. I mean, there's going to be a winner. There's going to be a loser. And if I see, 3 rounds of the most exciting MMA I've ever seen, hey, let's see what we have. We'll give another shot at it. So.
Very exciting. I do see there's also a female matchup on this card, Christina Williams and Helen Lucero. Is this a fight that you're really excited about? Can either of these ladies really take that next step and be a star for your promotion? And is there any other females in your promotion that you feel like really could, shine a light on the brand that you're trying to promote here?
Well, let me start out by saying we have so many females that are in Europe, in Latin America, that we plan on rostering as soon as things ease up. So we have a nice pipeline of some amazing talent that's out there that, the XFC women's division, if you go back to when we were operating in Brazil, there's not another promotion on the planet that can say they had a better roster than XFC from 2012 to 2016. We had the best stem to stern roster of females right then and there. So we take the female roster very seriously. Now to get to this card, Christina Williams, when you talk about going to Oklahoma City, there's no way you can show up without putting Christina Williams on your card. She's 3-3, so she's had some great success and she's had some tough losses, but every one of her fights has been exciting. She brings it, and I think she's looking for a chance to get on a roll here. So we're going to see what she brings. Helen, so happy to have Helen step up. Actually, Helen's the 3rd opponent. You've been around MMA to know there's been some injuries and things like that. So, we've been navigating that landscape a bit. But, we're taking a look at Christina as someone that, might be a nice anchor for the female roster for us. We'll see how she does, and we'll see how Helen does. And I hope they both just bring it and put on a show.
Very exciting. Now, obviously, the event's right around the corner. What will the capacity be as far as fans in attendance come fight night?
Moving target, and we're really happy with our partnership with Fire Lake Arena. They've been fantastic to work with. They've been out promoting as well. As far as what we're going to be able to have, we're going to be able to have a minimum of 1,500. Okay, and based on if things loosen up a little more, we're hoping to push near that 2,000 mark. Again, not the size crowd that we're hoping for moving forward with XFC, but it's sure going to be nice to have some fans in there. So, I would expect we're going to see anywhere between 1,500, 2,000. It's going to be loud. It's going to be great.
Now, for anybody that can't make it to the actual venue come fight night, is there an option to watch online?
Yeah, absolutely. So some great news that we've been holding off to announce. So you're going to be the first one to hear about it, okay? XFCTV.com. It's going to be up and running by the time Young Guns starts. So our fans will be able to go right to XFCTV.com. We also have the same, round of broadcasters. We have Fight TV is handling the U.S. We have broadcasters spread all over the world. So really heavy in Mexico. Mexico's really reached out. They love XFC in Mexico. So I know that our broadcasting down there is going to be just absolutely outstanding as well.
What will the payment be for the XFCTV.com? Is it a monthly subscription?
Well, we're going to offer it free. It's going to be free for our fans. There's going to be upgrades available. We highly suggest that they go with that upgrade because now you're not just seeing the events as they happen. You're able to go back through the entire archive of XFC, going all the way back, 43 events. It's all going to be there. We're going to have our X-Girl contest that we had in Brazil. Something else to watch where, there were, I think, and it's such a ridiculous number, it's almost embarrassing saying it, but I love Brazil because of this. 80 million votes in 13 days for the XFC the X-Girl contest that we had in Brazil back in 2016. 80 million votes. So fans will be able to watch that. They'll be able to see our tryouts. They'll be able to see a lot of, backdoor scenes. It's going to be really exciting for someone that really bleeds MMA, but also loves what XFC has produced over the years.
Oh, that's fantastic. You guys are clearly doing some big things here in the MMA game. So I'm very happy actually that you broke that news with me for XFCTV.com, and can't wait for this upcoming event. Again, Saturday, March the 27th. It's going to be in Oklahoma, XFC Young Guns 1. Myron, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Can't wait to do it again soon. Before I let you go, tell people where they can follow you on social media. And if you have anything else that you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Well, great. Our website's always a great place to go, xfcmma.net. On Facebook, XFC MMA, Instagram, Twitter, we're everywhere. You can find us everywhere. We also have Espanol on Facebook as well for our Spanish-speaking friends. And again, XFCTV.com. Plan on that being up and running. It'll be ready next week. So here we go. They've been testing. It's been working well. We're excited about it. Fans will also be able to watch our tryouts, XFC Southwest USA tryouts in Oklahoma City at American Elite on Sunday.
Very good. Well, listen, I very much appreciate the time. As always, sir, great to talk to you, and best of luck come this upcoming event here for you. I look forward to talking again soon.
Appreciate all the support, Ryan. Always great to catch up with you.